Thanks to the support as a channel member, Grant Charman. Boys and girls, we've figured out how to win again. This is our year. We're even still in the FA Vars in the quarterfinal. We could do a double this year. Let's just all agree the last 2 seasons didn't happen. Hello and welcome to part 34 of Born in the USA. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we face Pennsylvania and Lansdowne Yonkers, both in the league. Since you were last with me, we've discovered how to not be rubbish again. We had this really iffy spell where I thought everything was going to be going wrong last episode, but we've turned things around from there, including continuing our FA Vars journey. We've got a quarterfinal of that coming up. I'm not going to show you anything in the FA Vars unless we get to that final, but things are looking good currently. But looking even more good than our FA Vars run is our run of form in the league at the moment. A 4-0, a 5-0 and a 3-0 in our last 3 games leaves the league table looking like this. 30 games played. We're on 64 points, at 5 points clear of Carolina in second place, although they've got a game in hand, as do Coyotes, but they're 9 points back. Javier Hernandez is close to being top scorer in the league as well, behind this guy who's at Scott Gallagher Metro, and everything is looking good, and hopefully we can keep that going today with a game against Pennsylvania, who are all the way down in 17th place. They're certainly a team that we should be capable of beating, and this is the team that we're sending out there to try and beat them. We've got Buckner in goal, a back four of Maldonado, Goncalves, Nice and Cullen, Booth and Briones in midfield, Williams and Huyan supporting Stone, and Jorge Hernandez up front. If you're wondering why the defence is looking as odd as it is, it's because both our normal starting centre-backs, Brook and Sullivan, are suspended for this game, which is why we've got our left-back at centre-back and our backup central midfielder as the other centre-back. And yeah, it's a mess, but it's our mess. And hopefully it shouldn't be too much of a problem. If you recall, way back when we signed Goncalves, theoretically he was a centre-back. We just always played him in midfield because he's short. And he's not too bad at playing in central midfield either. I don't want to be too harsh on him. I know he's not a nailed-on starter for us there anymore, but he's been a regular player in the midfield for a couple of seasons now. It must be a couple of seasons because it feels like forever that people have been telling me in the comments section to call him Gonsalves rather than Goncalves. And the man himself says Goncalves. I don't know what more you want from me. All I can do is respect the way he wants to say his own name, even if it's not the traditional, I want to say Mexican way. I don't know. It could be any Latino nationality. I imagine if we said Spanish, then it's Spanish language, isn't it? That covers me. Let's say Spanish language. Huyan had a decent breakaway there. Stone was in space ahead of him, and I'm a little bit frustrated that the highlight ended because that looked like a good opportunity for us. We're in again here, talking of good opportunities, and there's Toby Nice, a rare opportunity for him to play at centre-back today, which means he gets to go forward for the set pieces rather than hovering back in the centre circle, and he's grabbed his first goal of the season from doing it. It's Williams with the delivery. Pennsylvania, rookie mistake, letting the ball bounce in the penalty area from a set piece. Don't know what they're thinking there. Never let the ball bounce. It does, and it bounces right into the path of Toby Nice, who is there to tuck it into the back of the net. It's 1-0 to Bourne, and that, as it stands right now, extends our lead at the top of the table because the teams directly chasing us haven't yet gone ahead in their games, which is lovely stuff, although Carolina have now gone ahead in theirs. So it's back to a 5-point lead again. I think, did they go? They must have gone ahead at roughly the same time in the match as we did. Pennsylvania with the throw. Every time I say Pennsylvania, I want to say Transylvania, and I assume they're not the same place. But do they have vampires in Pennsylvania? I need to know down in the comment section because the names are too similar for there not to be vampires in both. It just doesn't make sense. Huyan playing the ball across to Briones. Briones, ball forward to Hernandez. Lovely finish from Jorge Hernandez. A 32nd goal of the season for him. And he'll have his sights set firmly now on our goals in a season record, which is currently held by Tether Hernandez, which I think was close to 60 goals that he got back in that first season he was with us. I don't think Prince Fletcher ever scored more than that. So I think it is Jackson Hernandez who holds the goals in a season record. He certainly holds the all-time top goal scorer record, which if Jorge stays for another season or two, you've got to think he's gonna go on and break, because he's the man in possession now. Although Stephen Stone's been at the club longer than both of them, and now he's a regular starter. He doesn't score goals quite as spectacularly often as either of them did as his partner, but he does weigh in with a solid 20-ish goals a season, plus all those assists, playing as the second striker, and he might just sneak past Jackson Hernandez before Jorge does, just purely based on time at the club. At Nice now, turning ever so slowly at the back, but it doesn't matter because there's no pressure on him. He plays it forward to Huyan, and Huyan with the ball across to Hernandez, who's in again, and he scores again. That is the bread and butter of Jorge Hernandez. Our wide players know, don't worry about beating your man. Just hit that deep early cross in behind the back four and let Hernandez's pace do the rest. I mean, Huyan barely out of our half before he just lumps that ball forward into space for Hernandez to chase. And it doesn't matter if he gets to it on the edge of the area. He's just going to take a crack at it first time. You've seen him do it twice today, and he more often than not scores them. 33 for the season now for him. 3-0 on the day for us. Playing a makeshift back four doesn't seem to have done us any harm at all today. Not that Pennsylvania have had many attacks, he says, as they score an absolute screamer and hopefully aren't getting themselves back into the game. I don't want to be made to look like a silly goose. So fingers crossed this is just an anomaly and everything's going to return to normal shortly. I've never noticed so many flats around a football ground. Pennsylvania might not be known for its vampires, but goodness me, there's a lot of flats behind the goal at that end. Although it's America, so they're probably apartments. They're flats. Just call them flats. They're flats. Flat makes much more sense because they're tall. Got the opposite of flat. Why are they called flats? Apartment makes so much more sense. It's not often the Americans get a word right, but they might have got that one right because flat makes no sense. Why are they called flats? People of Britain, why on earth are flats called flats? Bungalows should be called flats, if anything, because they are sort of... I need to know the origin of the word. Someone's going to have to look that up for me and let me know down in the comment section. And plus, because I'm recording this on Thursday for a video that's going to come out on Monday, when you all start telling me in the comment section, don't give full context to it. Just tell me why flats are flats without making it clear that I asked, because then I'll be so confused, because I won't remember talking about this when I'm looking at this on Monday afternoon, going through the comment section. Why is everyone telling me the definition of flats and apartments? I don't understand. Baffle future Kev, you know it makes sense. Plus, helps the algorithm as well, and we all like to help the algorithm. Huyan getting in behind again there, doesn't get his crossover. Cullen does, though, and Huyan's got in to join the centre forwards and gets up there for the header, but it goes just over. And Carolina have been pegged back to 2-1 in their game by Lehigh. I'm not sure how Coyotes are getting on. I'm not really keeping an eye on them. But we have picked up the victory, and that's all we need to do now. If we just keep winning games, nobody can catch us. We've got that gap at the top of the league, and let's just keep winning. Keep winning until we have made it out of this ridiculous, horrible, awful tier 8 that we thought we were going to be trapped in forever, and we might just have found a way out of. Hernandez, give him a pat on the head. We're 11 games unbeaten now. This is more like it. That's what the table looks like at this point. Let's go beat... Who are we playing next? It doesn't say. Oh, Lansdowne Yonkers. Let's go beat them. So normal service can be resumed for the Lansdowne Yonkers game. Brooke and Sullivan both come back into the defence. So Nice can go back out to left back. Goncalves can go back into midfield, which means Booth can play as the more attacking option in midfield. And the rest of the team remains unchanged. Let's get it submitted. Let's hopefully can pick up where we left off, scoring goals, getting that ball into Hernandez and getting him doing his ridiculous finishing from anywhere. That's what we're looking for. There you go. The team talk is pick up where you left off in the last game, which is exactly what we want to be doing. I'm noticing more and more Bourne fans starting to turn up for these matches, which is a very positive thing for the future of this football club as we move up through the leagues. If our financial problems are ever going to be resolved, it's going to be through people getting through the turnstile and starting to fill this ground. And I know we're not close to doing that yet, but we're getting a little bit closer. There definitely seems to be more people in there than usual. I just noticed Carolina have won their game in hand on us as well. So the gap at the top of the league is down to 2 points. So victory in a game like this becomes even more essential. And there's Stephen Stone with his 21st goal of the season to show that anything Javier Hernandez can do. Not Javier, it's Jose. Javier's, why do I keep doing this? I need to sign him. That is the new goal for the save. Sign Chicharito. Jose, is it Jose? I can't remember his name. There's too many Hernandez. It's a good finish from Stephen. We're detracting from Stephen Stone's wonderful finish. I'm speculating on the names of various Hernandezes. Nice playing it forward to Williams. Williams, the move has just stopped. It just stopped. But Stone intercepts, and there is Hernandez, and there is the finish. 34 for the season for him. And I felt like there was a suspicion of offside there. Stone picks the ball up in that little pocket behind Hernandez that he spends all day long occupying. And then Hernandez, does he manage to stay the right side of his... I don't think he does, but I don't care. We got the goal. The flag didn't go up. The gap, as it stands, is back up to 4 points, but I imagine that's because Carolina haven't yet scored in their game. I'd expect they probably will. The form, they've been in equally as good form as us in recent matches, and it's now Stone again leading the charge for the counter-attack, and Booth is the man over on this left-hand side. Booth, can he beat his man? He can't, but he can win a penalty attempting to, and Stone has the opportunity now to put us 3-0 up inside the first 15 minutes of this game, which you'd think at that point, foregone conclusion. Stone does score 22 for the season now for him. I've done him a disservice during that first match saying he's a 20-goal-a-season striker because we've got 8 or 9 games left. And he could end up on 30 goals this season. He has added a very good contribution of goals to our tally this year. I'm assuming Carolina have now gone ahead in their game. Yeah, they're 2-0 up in their game. So the gap between us and them is back down to 2 points. But the gap between us and the playoffs, it's like 15 points now. We're pretty much nailed on for playoffs at the very least. I mean, to be fair, we know we were going to do that anyway. We've been in the playoffs the last 2 years, and we know we're a top 3 team in this league. Just hopefully Carolina just don't nick. I mean, look at the difference in goals. We're clearly the best team in the league. We just can't afford another poor run of form like that one that we had. Was it back in January we had the poor run of form? We can't afford another run like that because there's finally a team who are winning games week in, week out, Carolina, and they're not going to let us drop any more points looking at the form that they're in at the moment. Header from the Yonkers striker, and it goes just over. I think Buckner probably has that covered anyway. It was the first, in fact, it wasn't a shot on target. I was going to say it's their first shot on target, but it obviously wasn't on target because they missed. 4-2 now to Carolina against Nova United in their game. And we've got a corner as we try and add a 4th goal of our own. Hernandez with the corner. Brook has hit the crossbar on his return to the team. Jeff Brook looking to hit double figures for goals for the 2nd season in a row. He's not quite there yet, but if he gets too many more opportunities like that, he'll get there soon enough. We're going to put Jorge Hernandez out onto the right-hand side and get Jackson on up front. We're going to bring Favre on as well. And then we're going to get Briones on in the midfield. It's very, very typical substitutions for us. We know where our strength is on the bench. We've probably only got, I would say we've got 15 players who are good enough to actually play for this team, and all of them are involved in most games. And Hernandez is in here, but the tackle from the Yonkers defender is a good one, and he manages to stop Jackson Hernandez, adding to his tally for the club. And Jorge now out on the right finds Booth, and now Cullen with the ball forward looking for Stone, but Stone, I mean, I'd like to think if it was still 0-0, Stone chases that, but at 3-0 up when he's scored a couple of goals already, not that bothered about running after that one. I mean, we've only had 4 shots on target today. It's not like we've absolutely dominated this game. We've gone 3-0 up early and then coasted, and there is Jeff Brook weighing in with his, I think it said his 8th goal of the season now. They've all looked exactly like that. That's what Jeff Brook does. But 4-0 for us now, 6-3 for Carolina in their game. They are scoring some goals as they continue to try and chase us. It's very much a 2-horse race as we head into the business end of this season. Do we play Carolina again? Because if we do, that game is going to be massive. We need to get onto that fixture list and see if we might have already played them as part of this second half of the season, but we need to check in on that now. Very good performance from Stone, 2 goals and an assist. So this is Kev Buttons. This is the league table. It's only us and Carolina. We're the only ones who are in this race to win the league, and we play Carolina there. So that's the match we're coming back for, because it could well be the title decider. So we'll have that in tomorrow's episode. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.